Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Gandharvika Giridhari Shri Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Ju ki jai. Shri Govinda Gopinath Maran Mohan Ju ki jai. Nityalila Pravishtam Vishnupara Shatara Shata Shishmar Bhakti Viranta Narayan Gosai Maharaj Shri Guru Dev ki jai. Nityalila Pravishtam Vishnupara Shatara Shata Shishmar Bhakti Viranta Vaman Gosai Maharaj ki jai. Nityalila Pravishtam Vishnupara Shatara Shata Shishmar Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nityal Vishnu Vishnupada Shatara Shatashmat Bhaktivedanta Keshav Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Shri Rupanu Gauriya Guru Varga ki jai. Shri Rup Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jeev Gopal Bhattadash Raghunath Shar Goswami Prabhu ki jai. Shri Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanantari Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda ki jai. Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur ki jai. प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासरी गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री क्षेत्र मंडल गौर मंडल ब्रज मंडल मथुर वृंदावन धाम की जय। सर्व अभिष्ट पदार्थ गिरिराज महाराज की जय। श्री राधा कुंद श्याम कुंद की जय। श्री मुन देवी गंगा देवी की जय। श्री तुलसी महारानी वृंद देवी की जय। श्री भक्ति देवी की जय। श्री पूर्णमासी योग माया की जय। श्री गोपेश्वर महादेव की जय। श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। श्री चैतन्य भागवत की जय। श्री वृंदावन दास ठाकुर की जय। श्री निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। Hare Krishna, everybody. Dandavat pranams Nari Hari Prabhu and Bhavatarani Mataji. And, oh, I forgot to open up YouTube and Facebook. Anyways, Dandavat pranams, everybody. Do Jaidvani now. I mean, Mangalacharan. Second. Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Guruve Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha. Pancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Namo mahavadanyaya Krishna prema pradayate Krishnaya Krishna chaitanya namne gauratvishe namaha. Hey Krishna, sai. Ajanulambita kanakavadato saṅkīrtanaika pitaro kamalayataksho Vishvambaro Dvijavaro Yugadharma Palo Pande Jagat Priyakaro Karunavataro. Namastrikala Satyaya Jagannatha Sutaya Cha Sabhrityaya Saputraya Sakalatraya Te Namaha. Jai 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 Vishvambara Dvijaraj Jai Vishvambara Priya Vaishnava Samaj Gaurachandra Jai Dharma Setu Mahadhir Jai Sankirtana Moy Sundar Sharir Jai Nityanandir Bandhava Dhana Pran Jai Gadadhar Advaiter Prema Dham Jai Shri Jagarananda Priya Atishai Jai Vakreshwar Kashishwarer Hriday Jai Jai Shivasadi Priya Varganath Jiva Prati Koro Prabhu Shubha Drishtipat Madhya-khaṇḍa Katha Jeno Amriter Khanda Jai Katha Shunile Ghuche Antar Pashanda Madhya-khaṇḍa Katha Bhai Shuno Ek Chitte Saṅkīrtana Aramba Hoilo Jeno Mate Tavai Vasmi Na Jivami Tvaya Vina Iti Vigyaya Devi Tvam Nayamam Charanantikam Bhaktya vihina aparada lakshai kshiptashtakama madhe kripa mai tvam sharanam prapanna vrinde namaste charanaravindam Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. The Glories of Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata and Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur from Śrī Caitanya-charitamrita. Ore muro lok shuno Chaitanya Mangal, Chaitanya Mahima Jate Jani Veshakal, Krishna Lila Bhagavate Kohe Ved Vyas, Chaitanya Lila Vyas Vrindavana Das, Vrindavana Dasa Koilo Chaitanya Mangal. Jahara Shravane Nashe Sarvaya Mangal, Chaitanya Nitair Jate Jani Mahima, Jate Jani Krishna Bhakti Siddhanter Sima, Bhagavate Jota Bhakti Siddhanter Sar, Likhiya Chen Iha Jani Koriya Udhar, Chaitanya Mangala Shune Jadi Pashandi Javan, Sheho Mahavaishnava Hoy Tatakhon, Manushe Rachite Nare Aiche Granta Dhanya, Vrindavana Dasa Mukhe Vakta Shri Chaitanya, Vrindavana Dasa Pore Koti Namaskar, Aiche Granta Korite Ho Tarila Sansar, Narayani Chaitanya Uchishta Bhajan, तार गर्वे जन्मिला श्रीदास वृंदावन तार की अद्भुत चैतन्य चरित वर्णन जहाँ रसवने शुद्ध कोयल त्रिभुवन सहजे विचित्र मधुर चैतन्य विहार वृंदावन दास मुखे अमृतेर धार. By nature, all the activities of Śrī Caitanya-Mahaprabhu are very wonderful and sweet. And when they are described by Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur, they become like a shower of nectar. Jai Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur ki jai. Jai the Gaudiya Bhashya of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki jai. Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata ki jai. Śrī Sachinandan Gaur Hari ki jai. Śrī Nitāi Gaur Premanante Hari Hari Gaur. Hari Bol, everybody. Dandavat Pranam. Nri Hari Prabhu, Bhavatarani Mataji, Kishore Krishna Prabhu, and Champak Mataji. And I see there are a few people watching on YouTube and Facebook. Dandavat Pranams, whoever that is. Hari Bol. All right, so we are continuing our reading of Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata. Today we are beginning chapter 17. Oh, I forgot to open it up. Anyways, before I open it up, we'll go through a recap of the second half of this chapter 16 that we read. Mahaprabhu's accepting rice from Shuklambar Brahmachari. Okay. When such a devotee as Advaita Prabhu is joyfully glorified, sinful persons become distressed due to their past misdeeds, as when Mahaprabhu glorified Advaita Ācārya. The topics of that time have been narrated by Vaishnavas and are all factual. One who doubts their words is ruined. Lord Vishwambar stood up and chanted, Hari Bol, and his followers sang on all sides. Advaita Ācārya was overwhelmed with ecstasy. He forgot everything as he danced like an intoxicated person. Advaita Ācārya, the Lord of Shantipur, touched his beard and roared loudly as he furrowed his eyebrows and danced. Day and night they all happily sang, Jai Krishna, Gopal, Govinda Vanamali. Although Nityānanda was greatly overwhelmed, he was expert in dancing with Lord Chaitanya. How was he expert? Well, whenever Lord Chaitanya was about to fall, the most powerful Nityananda, he stretched out his arms and carefully caught him. Lord Gauranga danced in unlimited ecstasy. Who has the power to describe this dancing, that dancing? Balaram and Saraswati sing his glories to their full satisfaction. Sometimes the Lord lost consciousness. Sometimes his body shook. And sometimes he took straw between his teeth. And sometimes he became greatly proud. Sometimes he laughed. Sometimes he sighed deeply. And sometimes he became morose. In this way, the Lord manifested his ecstatic love. Sometimes the Lord sat in the Virasana posture, and sometimes he laughed loudly. As he bestowed mercy on everyone according to their good fortune, all the Vaishnavas drowned in an ocean of ecstasy. And this is what we read yesterday, seeing Shuklambar Brahmachari standing before him, Lord Shri Gaur Hari bestowed his mercy on him. Now hear the topics regarding Shuklambar Brahmachari, who lived in Navadvīpa, where the Lord appeared. He was always engaged in his occupational duties, and he was most peaceful. Although no one knew it, he was a great devotee. He would take a bag on his shoulder and go beg alms from house to house in Navadvīpa. He would cry while chanting the names of Krishna day and night. People thought he was a beggar, and therefore they could not recognize him. He was so poor that he had to beg alms to maintain himself. And Srila Saraswati Thakur, he mentions a lot about begging, beggars, all that. And I found there's this article by Srila Bhaktivedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj that renounced pure devotees' practice of begging. If we have time, maybe we could read this article. I thought this would be appropriate. We'll see. Okay. In the ecstasy of receiving Krishna's mercy, he did not know poverty. He would chant Krishna's names as he wandered from house to house. Who can recognize the recipient of Lord Chaitanya's mercy? Only one who is favored by the Lord is able. Shuklambar engaged in the devotional service of Vishnu, just as the poor Damodar did previously. Vishwambar bestowed such mercy on him that he could remain inside the house to watch the Lord dance. On seeing the Brahman dance in ecstasy with his bag on his shoulder, the Lord and all the Vaishnavas laughed. As Vishwambar sat down in the mood of the Supreme Lord, Shuklambar danced, cried, and laughed with his bag on his shoulder. While watching Shuklambar, the most merciful Gauranga repeatedly called out to him. He said, "Come, come. You are my poor servant, birth after birth. You give me everything and remain a beggar. I always desire your foodstuffs. Even if you don't give me, I forcibly take and eat them. Did you forget that I forcibly ate your broken rice in Dwarka? Kamala, the goddess of fortune, caught hold of my hand." After speaking in this way, Vishwambar took a handful of uncooked rice from Shuklambar's begging bag and began eating it. Shuklambar exclaimed, "Oh Lord, you have ruined me. This rice is full of broken particles." The Lord replied, "I eat your broken rice and I turn my face away from the nectar offered by non-devotees. Abhaktir amrito ulati nahi chaya." The Lord, who is independent, full of ecstasy, and the life of the devotees, ate that uncooked rice. Who could stop him? On seeing the Lord's compassion, all the devotees began to cry while holding their heads. No one knew who fell where as they cried. Everyone was overwhelmed on seeing such compassion. They then began to chant the glories of Krishna in great ecstasy. Everyone cried, from the children on up to the aged. Someone held straw between his teeth. Someone offered obeisances, and another said, "Oh Lord, never leave me." The pious Shuklambar rolled on the ground as the Lord of Vaikuntha happily ate that rice. The Lord said, "Listen, Shuklambar Brahmachari, I constantly enjoy pastimes in your heart. When you eat, I eat. When you walk about for begging, that is my walking. I have incarnated to distribute prema bhakti. You are my beloved servant, birth after birth. I now give you prem bhakti. Know for certain that prem bhakti is my life and soul. On hearing the benediction, Shuklambar received, all the Vaishnavas chanted, Jai, Jai, Hari, Hari. The servant of Lakshmi's Lord begs from door to door. What fortunate soul can understand the mystery of such pastimes? So when a pure devotee is begging from door to door, or when he's going to the homes of different householders, if he's really a pure devotee, then he's not going in there he's not doing it for himself at all. And if you're giving him a donation, it's not like you're doing him a favor. He doesn't need anything from you. The pure devotees, they're the servants of the Lord of Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune. So why do they need anything from anybody? There's no lacking in them. But they go only to give their mercy. Whatever rice Shuklambar collected by begging at 10 houses was forcibly eaten by Gaurachandra, the husband of Lakshmi. The Lord, who is the reservoir of transcendental qualities, personally explains through the Vedas the rules for offering foods. The Lord himself explained the rules for offering foods. He does not accept anything unless it is offered according to those rules. But he breaks all those injunctions for the sake of his devotees. The acceptance of Shuklambar's rice is the proof of this. Therefore, devotion is the life of all rules. Shakal vidhir bhakti pran. All rules and regulations are servants of devotional service. One second, I'm just going to move this over here. Hey, what happened? Okay, sorry. All rules and regulations are servants of devotional service. One who is distressed because of this is vanquished. Vedavyas has stated that devotion is the root of all rules, and Gauranga has directly demonstrated this. The Brahman did not offer the rice with mudras, nor did he even offer it. Yet nevertheless, the Lord eagerly ate it. Persons who are blind by the pride of material enjoyment cannot understand this mystery. Intoxicated by their children, wealth, and family prestige, they cannot recognize a Vaishnava. Krishna never accepts the offerings and worship of one who ridicules a Vaishnava, considering him foolish or poor. And then he gives this verse from Śrīmad Bhagavatam, from 4:31-21, na bhajati kumani shinam saijam. The Supreme Lord of God, the Supreme Personality of Godhead becomes very dear to those devotees who have no material possessions, but are fully happy in possessing the devotional service of the Lord. Indeed, the Lord relishes the devotional activities of such devotees. Those who are puffed up with material education, wealth, aristocracy, and fruit of activity are very proud of possessing material things, and they often deride the devotees. Even if such people offer the Lord worship, the Lord never accepts them. All the Vedas sing, Krishna is the life and soul of those who have no material possessions. Gauranga personally demonstrated this. One who hears about how the Lord ate Shuklambar's rice attains unalloyed devotional service at the feet of Lord Chaitanya. Accepting Śrī Caitanya and Nityānanda as my life and soul, I, Vrindavan Das, sing the glories of their lotus feet. Hari Bol Shubhananda Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. So we have 6 minutes, 7 minutes. How long is this? Maybe we could just skip, just not read the whole thing. Yeah, I'm just going to do a very quick reading of this. So this is an article by Srila Bhaktivedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj, the renounced pure devotee's practice of begging. Okay. So Srila Vaman Goswami Maharaj says, According to the opinion of most people, there is no practice in this world more disgraceful than begging. There is no difference, they presume, between begging and the propensities of a dog. Begging degrades people, makes them lazy and dependent on others, and robs them of the priceless jewel of independence. The conception of our acharyas, however, is the complete opposite of this popular opinion. Our preceptors explain that begging is, in fact, a practice in the mode of goodness. It is a sattvika vritti. The livelihood of the Brahman is to collect the leftover grain from the field after the farmer has harvested his crop. The brahmachari should reside in the house of his guru and serve him by studying the Vedas and collecting alms, bhiksha. The livelihood of both the sannyasi and vanaprasthi is to accept food obtained by begging. And finally, it is the duty of the grihastha to earn virtuous merit, sukriti, by offering alms to those in the three orders of life just mentioned, the brahmachari, the vanaprasthi, and the sannyasi. Pure Vaishnavas are not swindlers who make a living by exploiting a mendicant's garb. They have no other purpose than serving Sri Guru and Krishna. Their lives are not devoted to sense gratification, but filled only by service. They are incessantly preoccupied with trying to bring about the eternal benefit for the people of the world. Those are the pure Vaishnavas are like that. But what is it? What is the song by Narottam Das Thakur, Thakur Vaishnavagan? Artha lava ei ashe kapata Vaishnava veshe brahmiya bulai ghare ghare. Okay, so Mahanter Swabhav e tarite pamar nija karja nahi tabu jano tar ghar. That's from Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata Madhya-lila 839. The nature of exalted saintly devotees is verily to deliver the fallen. Therefore, they visit people's homes despite having no personal business at any of them. This is a nice verse. Mahanter swabhav e tarite pamar nija karya nahi tabu jano tar ghar. Okay. Are we not thieves? I am the greatest sense enjoyer. I have exploited the objects that are meant for Krishna's pleasure for my own personal gratification. Krishna is the sole enjoyer of everything. Casting him far away, I now endeavor to take his place. If for even a moment we contemplate this with a clear conscience, would we not deem ourselves thieves? We have misappropriated the property of Bhagavan, and therefore, in the prison of this material world, we are being tormented day and night by the threefold miseries. There's this verse from Ishopanishad. I'm trying to read this quickly, so I'm going to skip the Sanskrit, but I'll just read it. Isha vasyam idam sarvam yat kincha jagatyam jagat tena tyaktena bhunjitha ma gridha pasivsvid dhanam. Everything animate and inanimate within the universe is situated in Ishvara and is also pervaded by him. Therefore, in a detached mood, one should accept only what is necessary for one's maintenance, considering all things to be the remnants of Ishvara. One should not be attached to another's wealth, considering oneself to be the enjoyer. Parameshwar is the sole proprietor of the universe. Every corner of the universe is pervaded by him alone. One should accept his remnants and not entertain desires for anything else. Furthermore, it has been described in Śrī Gita, Ishtan Bogan Hivo Deva Dasyante Yagyabhavita Tardatan Apradayabhyo Yo Bhunkte Stena Evasa Yagya Shishtashina Santo Muchyante Sarvakil Vishai Bhunjate Te Tvagam Papa Ye Pachantyatma Karanat. That's chapter 3, verses 12 and 13. Upon being pleased by your yajna, the demigods will award you the fruit you seek. but he who enjoys the ingredients given to him by the demigods without first offering them back to the demigods is certainly a thief. Saintly persons who accept the remnants of yajna become free from all sins. But those who cook grains and offer foodstuffs for themselves are sinful and verily partake of sin. Those who consume grains and other edibles without first offering them to the demigods are guilty of the offense of theft. On the other hand, those who accept the remnants of sacrifice, they are freed of all sins, including unavoidable sins, such as those incurred by farmers at the time of harvest by unintentionally harming insects and small creatures. But those who regale themselves with culinary treats exclusively out of self-interest, they are sinners, and they suffer for every sin they commit. When we engage in mere eating, we verily eat only sin and become offenders guilty of theft. The pure devotee, anguished by our suffering, tries to deliver miscreants like us, tolerating our abuses as he stands at our door solely to benefit us. But because we are blinded by worldly notions, we look upon the pure devotee as a mortal man just like us. We see that, like us, he has worldly needs and stands at our doorstep because he has some craving he wishes to fulfill. But the Vaishnav never lacks anything at any time, for he is perpetually situated in his true self. He is a being from Vaikuntha, so no limitations exist in him. When the Supreme Lord, who is full in all six opulences, resides in someone's heart, how can that person ever experience worldly hunger and thirst? The pure devotee accepts the experience of hunger and thirst and wanders from door to door just to uplift wretches like us. We benefit ourselves if the pure devotee mercifully accepts something from us. Śrī Gaur Hari, who is Rajendra Nandan himself, personally went from door to door with Śrī Nityānanda Prabhu, propagating Harinam saṅkīrtana and begging alms. Ekadin Shuklambar Brahmachari Stane Kripai Taharana Magilo Apane. One day, Lord Śrī Caitanya went to the place of Shuklambar Brahmachari and showed him great mercy by personally begging food from him. Cool. Dekho na Shudrar Putra. Dekho na Shudrar Putra. That's from chapter 26 that we will be reading eventually. Dekho na Shudrar Putra Vidurer Stane Annamagi Kailen Bhaktir Karane. Just as the Supreme Lord begged food from Vidura, the son of a Shudra woman, during his pastimes as Sri Krishna, so too he begged from Shuklambar Brahmachari during Gaur Lila. He did this simply because of their bhakti for him. Śrī Nityānanda Prabhu said, Heno jati nahi na kailokar ghare. There is no caste that has not seen Mahaprabhu feasting in one of their own homes. It has also been said, Madhya per ghare koilo snan o bhojan. That's Madhya-khaṇḍa chapter 19. We'll be reading that. We're on chapter 17 now, so we'll be reading that soon. Lord Chaitanya bathed and ate in the home of a man who drank wine. The pure devotee has no dearth. Joto deko Vaishnaver vyavahar dukh, nishchoy jani hoshe paramananda sukh. We read this verse in chapter 9, verse 240. Although externally a Vaishnav may appear to be suffering from ordinary distress, you should know that in truth, he is experiencing the highest transcendental bliss. However, it is also stated, Vishay modantha shab kichui na jane, jati vidya dhan made Vaishnava na chine. Same chapter. Oh, it's the next verse, the verse after this. It says, bewildered by sense enjoyment, pride in their esteemed birth, great learning, vast wealth, and so on, ignorant people cannot recognize the transcendental position of a Vaishnav. The pure devotee is a servant of Sri Guru and Krishna. He adopts proper renunciation, yukta vairagya, and roams the earth for the benefit of all living beings. Moreover, he only accepts the remnants of food left by Sri Guru and Krishna. Tavane jajan prasada seviya uchishtara ki bejaha amara bhojan parama anande pratidina habe taha. It's from the song Sarvasva Tomar, verse 3 by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. He's praying in the mood, he's praying that he's the Lord's dog, that the Lord accepts him as his dog. And then every day in supreme bliss, I will partake of whatever remnants your dear devotees leave after honoring your prasad. These are truly the heartfelt words of a pure devotee. A pure devotee is not affected by the urges of the tongue or belly. Jivar lalase jay iti uti dhai shishnudhara parayan Krishna nahi pai. That's from Antyalila Chaitanya Charitamrita, chapter 6, verse 227. Those who run here and there just to satisfy their greedy tongues become busy filling their bellies and prone to carnal pleasures. They never obtain Shri Krishna. If, out of compassion, a pure devotee accepts something from us, then we generally believe that we have done a favor to that Vaishnav by giving something to him, and that had been our own property. I just gave this thing that's mine, we just gave that to the Vaishnav. We've done a favor for him. But this belief is erroneous. No one's fortune is his own. Everything belongs to the Lord of the universe. We have neither the ability to create nor destroy even a single blade of grass. So we are not the owners of wealth, nor are we the enjoyers of it. You and I have no ability whatsoever to benefit the pure devotee. Rather, we benefit ourselves if he mercifully accepts something from us. We may thus consider ourselves fortunate to have been able to return something to the Supreme Lord, its rightful owner, to be used for his own pleasure. A great Vaishnava sung, Tomar Kanak, that's Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada. He said, Tomar Kanak Bhoger Janak, Kanaker Dware Sevaho Madhava. Your wealth is the root of selfishness and indulgence. Just use your wealth to serve Madhav. God does not accept all offerings. You and I might argue, can we not offer things for the Lord's service ourselves? Must we instead give them to the Vaishnavas to offer on our behalf? In this regard, Shastra states that Bhagavan does not accept anything from the hands of anyone but the pure devotee. Patram pushpam phalam toyam yome bhaktya prayachati tadaham bhaktupahritam ashnami prayatatmana. That's Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, verse 26. If any pure-hearted devotee offers me a leaf, a flower, fruit, or water with love and devotion, I will surely accept his gift. Krishna does not accept the offerings of professional scholars who charge fees for their lectures on the subject of devotion, or workers who are excessively attached to the fruits of their actions, or bogus so-called devotees, for all of them commit offenses in their outward display of devotional service. They are seva aparadhis. If we reflect on the matter, we can understand that a professional scholar is a servant of money. He may call himself a servant of the Lord, but in fact there is no love, not even a trace of devotion within his heart. He is simply interested in making money. If you pay him, he'll put on a show of serving Hari, but as soon as you stop, he will not hesitate to abruptly end the event he started and quit his so-called service. Out of greed for money, the professional scholar tries to sell us the form of Sri Bhagavan by means of his so-called professional recitation of Śrīmad Bhagavatam. He shows you the deity simply to collect donations. He utters mantras in your ear just for goods or money, an act as futile as blowing some air in your ear. And he accepts the position of a pujari, the priest responsible for worshiping the deity, for a wage. Hence, the professional scholar is a minion of wealth, women, and prestige. So, if not him, then who is, in fact, a true servant of Bhagavan? The orthodox jnani seeks emancipation from suffering. He concocts the idea that he is himself Brahma, the totality of of infinite spirit, so the proclivity to serve the Supreme Being cannot exist in him. While seeking liberation, he occasionally conjures up a false sense of devotion. The general public believes this show of devotion to be actual servitude, actual seva. However, his display of devotion is fraudulent. It is brimming with deceit. What to speak of rendering service to Bhagavan? He attempts to make himself the object of worship, sevya, and is even ready to engage Bhagavan in serving him. Although those who seek liberation outwardly show that they have no desires, in reality, they are more engrossed in selfish desires than anyone else. It is true that the Jnani does not seek insignificant attainments like the enjoyment of the heavenly planets, wealth, followers, and so on, but instead, all he wants is to seize the position of the Lord in one move. He wants it all. Only a foolish servant bothers his master for petty objects of enjoyment like food and water, or money and clothes. Sorry, only a foolish servant bothers his master for petty objects of enjoyment like food and water, money or clothes. A cunning servant thinks, if I can become the outright master all at once, I will not lack for anything. Everything will be within my reach, and I will be happy forever. In contrast, a truly devoted servant thinks, whether I myself am happy or sad does not matter. May I be forever able to serve my master solely for his own happiness. This mood is the spirit of a true servant. The disposition of a pure devotee is one of unconditional service, entirely free from deceit. As such, the Lord does not accept offerings from those who seek emancipation from suffering. Either. Madhya per ghare koila snan bhojan, ninduk vedanti na pailo darshan. That's Caitanya-bhāgavata, Madhya-khaṇḍa, chapter 19. So we'll be reading this soon. Lord Chaitanya bathed and ate at the home of a man who drank wine, yet he would not even show himself to the blasphemous Mayavadis. Diktar Krishna Seva Shavana Kirtan, Krishna Ange Bajrahane Tahar Stavan. This is from the song Pratikula Bhava. No, sorry. No. This is, how does the song go? I forgot how it starts. But it's by Bhaktivinoda Thakur in Sharanagati. Shame on their so-called service to Krishna and their pretentious hearing and chanting of his glories. Their empty praises are like thunderbolts striking Krishna's body. The seemingly devotional endeavors of he who seeks liberation are not for the pleasure of Sri Bhagavan. Rather, his purpose in making such endeavors is solely to secure his own selfish interest, namely the attainment of liberation. Sri Bhagavan does not accept anything he offers, for his devotion is full of deception and ulterior motives. An act that is motivated by the desire for sense enjoyment or heavenly pleasures can never be an act of service to Bhagavan. In fact, Śrīmad Bhagavatam, 1st Canto, 5th chapter, verse 12 states, Naishkamyam apyuchuta bhavavarjitam nashobhate. Even selfless action, if it is bereft of sentiment for the infallible Lord, is no more than a karmic shackle. It is also stated in Śrīmad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, chapter 23, verse 56, Neha yat karma dharmaya na viragaya kalpate na tirthapada sevayai jivan api mrito hisa. Any activity that is not spiritually motivated, that is not dharmic, any spiritually motivated activity that does not produce detachment, and any detachment that ceases to be aimed at serving or pleasing Sri Bhagavan, the abode of all holy places, is actually worthless. Wow, that's a very strong statement. Good verse to memorize. In light of this, the process of offering all the results of one's actions to Bhagavan, whether those actions are physical, verbal, or mental, has been described in devotional scriptures like Bhagavad Gita. Action, or karma, that is favorable to serving Sri Hari surely constitutes bhakti, Shuddha Bhakti. Bhagavan accepts only the offerings of a pure devotee. The characteristics of pure devotion are described in Shastra as follows. Shuddha Bhakti hoite hoy prem utpan, ataiva Shuddha Bhaktir kohiye lakshan. Mahaprabhu's instructions to Rupa Goswami in Madhya Lila Chaitanya Charitamrita, chapter 19. Pure devotion, Shuddha Bhakti, is that from which prem is born. I shall now, therefore, describe the symptoms of Shuddha Bhakti. Anya vancha, anya puja, chari jnana karma, anukulye sarvendriya, krishnanushilanam. That's same chapter, verse 168. Give up all other desires and the worship of anyone besides the Supreme Lord, and relinquish the pursuit of dry knowledge and fruitive activity. With all of your senses, just constantly try to serve Krishna out of kindness to him. Now, Param Gurudev gives a very beautiful, deep explanation of these words. Anukulye sarvendriye, krishnanushilanam. He says that Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is also hinting at the exclusive devotion of the gopis, because it's only the gopis who fully sarvendriya krishnanushilanam, who fully offered their complete bodies to Krishna. Nobody in the other rasas did this. Nobody can do this in any of the other rasas. Only the gopis. That's like one of the unique specialities of the gopis. So he's hinting at that. That's the topmost form of bhakti. Okay. Sarvapari vinir muktam tatparatvena nirmalam hrishikena hrishikesha sevanam bhakti ruchate. It's Madhya Lila. Okay, so this verse was quoted. This is from Śrīmad Bhagavatam, right? No, not Śrīmad Bhagavatam. What is it? Is it Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, I think, but it's quoted in Chaitanya Charitamrita, verse 170. When the undisguised and unadulterated service rendered through all one's senses to that supreme being, who is the origin and master of the senses, then it is called bhakti. It's from the Narad Pancharatra, that verse. Thanks, Kishore. Bhakti mukti spriha yavat pishachi riddhi vartate tavar bhakti sukasyatra katam abhyudayo bhavet. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1-22, quoted in Chaitanya Charitamrita, same chapter, verse 76. As long as the two witches, namely the desire for material enjoyment and the desire for impersonal liberation, remain within the heart of a sadhak, how can the happiness of unalloyed devotion be awakened there? The desire for sense enjoyment, bhukti, and the desire for liberation, mukti, are like two witches. There is no greater obstacle to serving Sri Bhagavan. In pure bhakti, there is not even a scent of desire for liberation. Ultimately, this proves that when a pure devotee begs, it is only to show compassion to the living entities. He goes from door to door and pleads, Prabhur Kripai Bhai, Magiye Bikha, Bolo Krishna, Bhajo Krishna, Koro Krishna Shikha. Oh, brothers, by the Lord's grace, I beseech you, chant Krishna's name, worship Krishna, and follow Krishna's teachings. It's from Gita-vali by Srila Bhaktivinoda. These teachings pertaining to Krishna liberates the living entities from the misery of seeking out sense gratification. The pure devotee accepts the items and money we offer him in order to serve Krishna and Krishna's devotees, not to enjoy them himself. Thus, unlike others, he does not just become a person who maintains himself by begging. Those who lack wisdom cannot comprehend the fact that the pure devotee's practice of begging is a special act of bhakti. It's a special act of bhakti. Solve all problems forever. Nowadays, it is the opinion of one group of people that giving and taking alms is only justifiable and worthwhile if the money collected by begging is utilized to help the poor, to improve the nation, or to aid in the treatment of the mentally or physically ill. Otherwise, they maintain that begging is simply another unwanted tax on householders. But I ask, for how long can you and I help the poor, the entire nation, and its citizens? And to what extent? Perhaps a very wealthy person can feed 10,000 poor people for 1 month, but has he truly removed their poverty through that endeavor? Suppose we concede that the problem of their hunger has been solved. The problem of adequate clothing remains. Even if their food and clothing is provided, there's still the problem of their physical illnesses. Supposing all their diseases are treated, there are then uncountable mental illnesses to combat: anxiety, countless disorders, grief, depression, and fear, and finally there is death. Thus, as one deficiency is addressed, new deficiencies arise, one after another, forever. Hence, true visionaries, those who are endowed with the wisdom to distinguish between the real and unreal, say that one should address the deficiencies of the living entity in such a manner that he will be rid of all of them forever. Establish him in the true nature of his self. The living entity is the eternal servant of Bhagavan. But he has forgotten this and is maintaining the false self-conception that he is a slave of the illusory energy, Maya. This alone is the cause of all his deficiencies. Tavar bhayam dravina deha suhrin nimitam shokospriha paribhavato vipulash chalobha tavan mamet tasad avagraha artimulam yavan natingrim abhayam pravarinikta loka. That's Śrīmad Bhagavatam 396. O Bhagavan, as long as one does not completely take shelter at your lotus feet, which grant fearlessness, he remains fearful for the loss of his wealth and for the death of his body and relatives. Upon losing any of these things, he experiences intense grief and a desire to regain them. His severe longing for all these perishable things causes him to become bewildered by misconceptions pertaining to me and mine. This is the sole cause of his misery. Repeat these words to the living beings in need again and again, and thus revive his dormant state of God consciousness. By doing so, both the speaker and the listener will be benefited. By performing kirtan, your enlightened self will awaken, and all the other living beings around you will awaken as well. And we see how Srila Vamana Goswami Maharaj, he spent most of his time going to the houses of extremely poor people. He actually said that he feels uncomfortable being in the homes of rich people with all these opulences and all that. He preferred to be with the most poor people. And there's many stories of him like staying up the whole night with an umbrella above his head because there's a leak in the roof. And they didn't know, the householders, they didn't know this, but they were so poor that they didn't have a proper roof. And like that, but that's where he was comfortable. That's where he gave most of his energy and time. So, and this is exactly what he was doing. Hence, the pure devotee does not attempt to secure any seeming or transient welfare through begging and then performing relief work or opening rehabilitation centers in an effort to earn recognition from the spiritually inimical people of the world who are overly attached to their bodies. The great souls in this world have always tried, are now trying, and will forever continue to try to bring about the eternal benefit of all living beings. It's from Gaudiya Patrika, year 43, issue 8. Okay, this took a lot longer to read than I thought. But anyways, I just thought that this was nice to read in relation to Shuklambar Brahmacharya because we were reading Srila Saraswati Thakur's commentary on this topic. So, all right, now we will continue the reading and I will stop when it's 8:30. We'll see how far we get. As I mentioned, this chapter isn't very long, but it's too long for one day, so we'll have to split it up in two. That's why I thought we had enough time to read some extra stuff. But yeah, nice article, isn't it? Very important topic. Okay. I love Srila Vamana Goswami Maharaj's writings. Really special. Okay. Okay, Shubhanand Prabhu, I can share in the group, yes. This is from, oh yeah, I forgot to mention. That article was from Raise of the Harmonist, Karthik edition 2010. 2010 Karthik. Okay. Now, chapter 17, the Lord's wandering throughout Navadvīpa and descriptions of the devotees' glories. Because we're so far over time, I'm going to skip the summary for today and then we'll read the whole summary tomorrow. Okay. Jai Jai Mahaprabhu Shri Gora Sundar Jai Nityananda Sarva Sevya Kalevar. All glories to Mahaprabhu Shri Gora Sundar. All glories to Nityananda, whose body is the object of everyone's worship. Haribol Sudevi Didi. Madhya-khaṇḍa katha jeno amriter khanda je katha shunile ghuche antar pashanda. Cool, we've seen this verse before. I think this is in the first chapter, also this verse. The topics of Madhya-khaṇḍa are like drops of nectar. By hearing these topics, one's atheistic mentality is vanquished. Heno mate Navadvīpe Prabhu Vishvambar Gura rupe saṅkīrtana kore nirantar. In this way, Lord Vishvambar kept his identity concealed while constantly performing saṅkīrtana in Navadvīpa. I'm going to, wait 1 second, let me just fix this. It's that color is really annoying. I don't know why it changed everywhere. What should I make it? I'll make it dark blue. Ah. Okay. Sorry, guys. These kinds of things really bug me. There. The word Guru Rupe means secretly or without revealing himself. So he concealed himself while constantly performing saṅkīrtana and Navadvīpa. He only revealed himself to his devotees. Jokon koroye Prabhu nagara brahman sarva loka dekhe jeno shakshat madan. When the Lord wandered throughout the city, everyone who saw him thought he was Cupid himself. Vyavahare dekhi Prabhu jeno damba moy vidya bolo dekhi pashandi o pai bhoy. In ordinary dealings, the Lord appeared to be full of pride. Even atheists were frightened by seeing the strength of his knowledge. Gaudiya Bhashya by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada. Those who consider that the absolute truth and material objects are equal, or those who try to equate the origin with its byproducts, are known by common people as ignorant or atheistic. Domination over others to nourish one's false ego by persons who are experts in material considerations is called pride. Egoistic, proud persons who try to establish their own prominence over Vaishnavas by taking advantage of their natural humility in worldly dealings become intoxicated by self-praise. Manifesting his own ingenuity over such so-called learned persons who are filled with false ego, Sri Gaurasundar instilled fear in the atheists who were envious of Vishnu. They thus realized the insignificance of their own knowledge and were defeated by the strength of Mahaprabhu's knowledge. Therefore, the mundane scholars realized their own weakness and accepted him as the conqueror of the proud. Vyakarana Shastra Sabe Vidyar Adhan Bhattacharya Prati Onahi Kotrina Gyan. The Lord considered the Bhattacharyas, who were supposed to be learned in grammar, as no better than a blade of grass. Gaudiya Bhashya. The branch of the Vedas known as Vyakaran, or grammar, is said to be the mouth of the personified Vedas. Grammar is the source of perfection for all kinds of knowledge. Mahaprabhu did not show much respect to those who established themselves as teachers for imparting knowledge. Rather, he disregarded them by manifesting his ingenuity. Haribol Vidya Lala Sadidi. Nagara Brahman Kore Prabhu Nija Range Gura Rupe Thakaye Sevaka Shabha Sange. In his own ecstasy, the Lord kept his identity covered as he wandered throughout the city in the association of his devotees. Pashandi Shakal Bole Nimai Pandita Tomare Rajar Agya Aise Twarita Lukaya Nisha Bhage Koroho Kirtan Dekite na Pai Loka Shape Anukhan Mityana He Loka Bakya Samprati Phalilo Surij Gyane She Khata Tomare Kohilo. Prabhu bole Astu Astu Esab Vachan Mor Icha Ache Koro Raja Darashan Porilo Shakal Shastra Alapavayase Shishu Gyan Kori More Keho na Jigyase Mor Khunje Henok Jan Kothao na Paya Jeba Jano Mor Khunje Mui Taha Chaya. The atheist said, "O Nimai Pandit, you will soon receive an order from the king. You secretly perform kīrtana at night, and people constantly curse you because they cannot watch. The curses of the people will not prove false, but will soon bear fruit. We are telling you this as well-wishers." The Lord replied, "So be it. Let your words come true, for I have a desire to meet the king. Since I've studied all the scriptures at an early age, people consider me a child and do not challenge me. I do not find anyone to challenge me. I wish to meet anyone who is prepared to challenge me. Gaudiya Bhashya. After being defeated by the Lord's vast knowledge, the learned scholars secretly conspired against him and made various complaints to the royal administrator. The atheists tried to place obstacles in the propagation of Mahaprabhu's kirtan by informing him that after an investigation resulting from the complaints, there would soon be retribution. Those who oppose the Lord duplicitously told him, "You have not the authority to chant the names of Hari before the public during the daytime. So unknown to others, you loudly perform kirtan with the dense darkness of night. As a result, you become an object of their displeasure and curse. As friends, we are advising you to be careful. Soon the administrative officer will come to punish you." In answer to this, Mahaprabhu said, "It is a fact that materialistic persons are opposed to me. I also wish to defend myself before the king. I have studied all scriptures at a tender age, and because of my young age, no one challenges me. If the king challenges me, then I can make my scholastic prowess known to him." The phrase astu astu means let it be, let it be. Let it be, let it be. Sorry, guys. Okay. Pashandi. Pashandi boloe raja chahibo kirtan. Na kore panditya charcha raja she javan. The atheist said, "The king will listen to your kirtan. Because he is a Muslim, he does not care for scriptural debate." Gaudiya Bhashya. The opposing person sarcastically said to Mahaprabhu, "The king is an irreligious Muslim, so he does not care for religious scriptures. He'll listen to your kirtan." Trinagyan pashandire, Thakur na kore, ailen Mahaprabhu apana mandire. Considering the atheists as no better than a blade of grass, the Lord returned to his home. Prabhu bole hoilo aji pashandi sampasha, saṅkīrtana koro shave dukkha jao nasha. The Lord said, "Today I have talked to some atheists. Therefore, let us have kirtan so that my misery will be destroyed." Nritya kore Mahaprabhu, Vaikunta Ishwar, Chaturdike Vedi Gai Sab Anuchar. As Mahaprabhu, the Lord of Vaikunta, danced, all his servants surrounded him and sang. Okay, so what do we do if we deal with some unfavorable people and we feel like, we feel some distress after dealing with some inimical person? We do kirtan. Let us have kirtan so that my misery will be destroyed. As Mahaprabhu, I just read this, right? Nitya kore Mahaprabhu, Vaikunta Ishwar, Chaturdike Bedi Gai, Saba Anuchar. As Mahaprabhu, the Lord of Vaikunta, danced, all his servants surrounded him and sang. Rohiya, rohiya bole, are bhai shab, aji kene nahe mor prem anubhav. A couple of times the Lord stopped and said, "Oh, brothers, why am I not feeling any ecstasy today?" We just read about the Mahaprabhu doing that twice in the previous chapter. 2 instances. Now there's a third instance. Nagare hoilo kiba pashandi sambhasha, eiba karane nahe prema parakasha. Am I not feeling ecstasy because I talked to some atheists in the city today? Gaudiya Bhashya. In the Padma Puran, Uttarakhanda, chapters 92 and 93, the word pashandi, or atheist, is described as follows. Yenyam devam paratvena vadantya jnana mohita narayanaj jagannathat deva pashandinas tata. Those who consider demigods like Brahma and Shiva as the Supreme Lord rather than Sri Narayan, the Lord of the entire universe, are certainly pashandis. Gopala bhasmasti dhara ye hyavaidika. I think this is broken up strangely. I don't know. Anyways, I'm just gonna try whatever. Ye hyavaidika lingin ahrite vanastashramacha jata valkaladarinaha vadika kripayopetas devai pashandinastata. Sorry, that was terrible. Anyways. Those who decorate their foreheads with ashes from the crematorium, those who carry the bones of dead bodies, those who wear non-Vedic signs, those who keep matted hair or wear tribak, although they are not vanaprasthas, and those who are attached to non-Vedic activities are certainly pashandis. That's pretty heavy duty. I don't know anybody who wears ashes from the crematorium. Shankar Chakror Dva Pundradi Chennai Priyatmai. God, this is all mixed up, the verse. So like it should be broken up at different places. Rahitaye Dvija Devi Devai Pashandina Smrita. Okay, that's. O goddess Parvati, those Brahmins who do not decorate their arms with the marks of the Kanchan disc, and who do not decorate their foreheads with the mark of tilak, which are most dear to Sri Hari, are certainly pashandis. That's like most people. Okay. Shruti smrityu ditacharam yastu nacharati dvija samasta yagya bhoktaram vishnum brahmanya daivatam Uddishya devata eva juhoti cha dadati cha sa pashanditi vigyeya swanta tantrash chapi karmasu. Kishore said Shaivites wear ashes. Okay. Brahmins who do not act according to the injunctions of the Shrutis and Smritis, who offer oblations to demigods like Indra rather than to Sri Vishnu, the only enjoyer of all sacrifices and the lord of the Brahmanas, and who disregard Vishnu and establish fruitive activities as an independent process for attaining the goal of life, are certainly pashandis. Yastu Narayanam Devam Brahmarudradi Daivatai Samatvenaiva Viksheta Sapashandi Bhavedruvam. One who considers the great demigods such as Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva equal to the Supreme Personality of Godhead Narayan is a Pashandi. Avastatritayedyastu manovakaya karmabhi Vasudevam najanati sapashandi bhavedvija. Those who do not realize Vasudev, the super soul of all, by their mind, body, and activities during the states of wakefulness, dreaming, and deep sleep are certainly pashandis. Okay, now we're all pashandis. I got it. Avaishnavastu yo vipra sa pashanda prakirtita. Any Brahmin who is not a Vaishnav is declared by the Shastras to be a Pashandi. In the Padma Purana Kriya Yoga, chapter 10, it is further stated, Yo Veda Samatam Karyam Tyaktva Nyat Karman Kurvate Nijachara Vihinaye Pashandas Te Prakirtita. Those who give up the worship of the Supreme Lord that is based on Vedic injunctions and indulge in non-devotional activities, as well as those who are devoid of the proper behavior received through disciplic succession, are called pashandis by the Shastras. In the Śrīmad Bhagavatam 4.2.28, it is stated, Bhavat vrata dhara yecha tan samanu vrata pashandinaste bhavantu sachastra paripantina. Those who take a vow to satisfy Lord Shiva or who follow such principles will certainly become an atheist and be diverted from transcendental scriptural injunctions. Okay, so that was a long purport. So what did it say? The Lord said, am I not feeling ecstasy because I talked to some atheist in the city today? No, he says, Toma sabastane va hoilo apaman aparada kamiya rakoho mor pran. If I have insulted you in any way, then please forgive my offenses and save my life. Mahapatra Advaita Bhrukuti Korinache Kemote Hoibo Prem Nada Shushiache. Advaita Prabhu, the great recipient of the Lord's mercy, frowned and danced as he said, How will you feel ecstatic love when nada has drained you? Okay. Keeps on mentioning this also. Brukuti. He frowns as he dances. We mentioned that yesterday. Kemote hoibo prem, nada shushiache. When nada has drained you. Mui nahi paya prem na paya Śrīvāsa. Tilimale sane koro premer vilas. Avaduta tomar premer hoilo das. Amishe bahir ar pandita Śrīvāsa. Amishab nahi laya prema adhikari. Avadhuta ashi hoila premer bhandari. Jadi more prem jog na deho goshai. Shushibo shakal prem mor dosh nai. I do not get love of God, and neither does Śrīvāsa. You enjoy your pastimes of ecstatic love with oil millers and gardeners. Avadut has become the servant of your love, while Śrīvāsa and I are left out. We are not qualified to attain your love, while this Avadut, Nityānanda Prabhu, this Avadut has come and become the storekeeper of your love. O Goshai, if you do not award me your ecstatic love, I will dry it all up. Then do not blame me. Gaudiya Bhashya. You always remain intoxicated by topics of the Lord's pastimes of ecstatic love with persons of castes other than a Brahman, such as the gardeners and oil millers. Rather than discussing the scriptures with learned Brahmins, you associate with people of lower castes. Śrīvāsa and I, Advaita, are not receiving your love. Avadut Nityānanda has become the only beneficiary of your love. If you do not bestow your love on me, then I will drain it all out. Chaitanya preme Nandana Ācārya Goshai, ki boloye ki koroye kichu smriti nai. Acharya Gosai was maddened with Lord Chaitanya's love. He did not remember what he said or what he did. Sarvamate Krishna Bhakta Mahima Badai, Bhakta Gana Jatha Beche Tathai Vikai. Krishna increases the glories of his devotees in all respects. They are able to sell him wherever they want. Gaudiya Bhashya. One should discuss Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi, chapter 3, verses 97 to 109. Jai Bhakti Prabhave Krishne, Bechi Bare Pare, She Jai Bhakya Bolibek, Ki Vichitratare. For one who can sell Krishna by the influence of his devotional service, what is unusual about speaking in this way? For one who can sell Krishna by influence of his devotional service, what is unusual about speaking in this way? Nana rupe bhakta bara yena gora chandra ke bhujite paretana anugraha danda. Gora Chandra increases the glories of his devotees in various ways. Who can understand his mercy and punishment? Who can understand his mercy and punishment? Thakur vishade na paiya prema shuk, hate tali diya nache advaita kotuka. As the Lord lamented due to not receiving the happiness of ecstatic love, Advaita joyfully danced while clapping his hands. Advaiter vakya shuni Prabhu Vishwambar ar kichu na korilo tar pratyutar. After listening to Advaita's words, Lord Vishwambar did not make any reply. She mato rada dila guchai adwar pache dhai Nityānanda and Haridāsa tar. The Lord suddenly opened the door and ran out, and Nityānanda and Haridāsa ran after him. Gaudiya Bhashya. The phrase rada dila means ran or rushed away. Prem shunya sharira tuya ki bakaj, chintiya purila Prabhu janavir maja. Thinking that there was no use in keeping a body devoid of love of God, the Lord jumped into the Ganga. Jampa diya Thakur porila Ganga maje, Nityānanda Haridāsa jampa dila pache. Isn't it neat how the word jump is the same as in English, in Bengali and English? As the Lord jumped into the Ganga, Nityānanda and Haridāsa jumped in behind him. Ativyate Nityānanda dhorilen keshe, charana chapia dhore Prabhu Haridase. Nityananda quickly caught the Lord by his hair, and Haridas grabbed the Lord's lotus feet. Dui jane dhoriya tulila loya tire, Prabhu bole tumra ba dhorile kisere. The two then carried the Lord out of the water, whereupon the Lord said, "Why did you restrain me? Ki karye rakhibo prem rohita jivan, kisere ba tumra dhorile dui jan." For what purpose should I maintain this life, which is devoid of love of God? Why did you two hold me back? Gaudiya Bhashya. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya 245, Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata speaks the following words. He says, "Na prema gandosti tarapi me haro, krandami saubhagya param prakashitum, vangshi vilasyanana lokana vina vibhrami yat prana patangakan vrita." My dear friends, I have not the slightest tinge of love of Godhead within my heart. When you see me crying in separation, I am just falsely exhibiting a demonstration of my great fortune. Indeed, not seeing the beautiful face of Krishna playing his flute, I continue to live my life like an insect without purpose. Dui jane mahakampa aji ki ba phale, Nityananda dig chahi Gora Chandra bole. The two trembled as they thought, "What will happen today?" Looking at Nityananda, Gaurachandra spoke. "Tumi kene dhorila amar keshe bhare." Nityananda bole kene jaho mori bare. "Why did you grab my hair?" Mahaprabhu said. Nityananda replied, "Why did you try to kill yourself?" Prabhu bole jani tumi parama vival. Nityananda bole Prabhu kamo ho shakal. The Lord said, "I know you are most reckless." Nityananda then said, "O Lord, please forgive me." Jare shashti koribare par sarvamate, tar lagi cholo nija sharir chadite. Do you want to give up your body because of someone, do you want to give up your body because of someone that you can easily punish? Abhimane sevakera bolilo vachan, Prabhu tahe loibe ki bhrityer jivan. If servants speak something out of pride, does their master take their lives? Premoy Nityananda vahe prem jal, jar pran dhan bandhu chaitanya shakal. Filled with devotion, Nityananda shed tears of love for Lord Chaitanya, who is everything for him, his life, wealth, and friends. Prabhu bole shuno Nityānanda Haridāsa, karo sthane koro pache amar prakash. The Lord said, "Listen, Nityananda and Haridas, do not tell anyone that you have seen me." Amana dekhila boli baba chan, amar agyai e kohiba katan. Tell everyone that you did not see me. You follow this order of mine. Mui aji sangope thakibo e thai, kare pache koho jadi mor doshanai. Today I will hide here. If you tell anyone, then do not blame me for the consequences. E boli Prabhu Nandaner ghare jai, e dui sangopa koilo Prabhur agyai. After speaking in this way, the Lord went to the house of Nandana Ācārya. Following the Lord's order, the two kept this a secret. Nandana Ācārya's place is always the hiding place for everybody, it seems. I think people would catch anyways. Bhakta Shabna Paiya. This is like the third time or fourth time, I think third time that his house is used as a hiding place. Bhakta Shabna Paiya Prabhur Uddesha, Dukhamoy Hoila Shabe Shri Krishna Avesha. Absorbed in love for Krishna, the devotees all became full of distress when they were unable to receive any news about the Lord. Paramavirahe shabe koren krandan, Keho kichu na boloe pore sarvamon. They began to cry due to feelings of intense separation. No one said anything as their hearts burned. Savar uparjeno hoilo vajrapat maha aparada hoila shanti purnat. Everyone felt like they had been struck by a thunderbolt, and Advaita, the lord of Shantipur, thought himself a great offender. Aparada hoya prabhu prabhur virahe upavas kori giya thakilen grihe. Feeling that he had committed an offense, Advaita Prabhu went home and fasted due to intense separation from the Lord. Sabe cholila ghare shokakuli hoya Gorachandra charandhan hridaye bandhiya. Filled with lamentation, everyone returned to their homes with the treasure of Gauranga's lotus feet bound in their hearts. Thakur Aila Nandan Ācārya ghare Voshila Asiya Vishnu Kathar Upare. The Lord arrived at Nandana Ācārya's house, where he sat down on the throne of Lord Vishnu. Nandan dekhiya grihe parama mangal dandavat hoya porilo bhumitala. Seeing that the most auspicious personality has arrived in his house, Nandana Ācārya offered obeisances by falling flat on the ground. Satvare dilen ani nutana vasana tita vastra edilen Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata. He quickly brought new clothes for Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata, who then changed his wet clothes. Gaudiya Bhashya. The word tita means wet or drenched. Prasada chandana mala divya arghya ganda chandane bhushita koilo prabhur Shri Anga. Nandana Ācārya offered arghya and fragrant oils, as well as sandalwood paste and flower garland prasad. He decorated the Lord's body with he decorated the Lord's body with the sandalwood paste. Karpur tambul ani dilen Shri Mukhe bhakter padartha prabhu khai nija sukhe. He then brought camphor and betel nuts and offered them to the Lord, who happily ate his devotees' offerings. Pasharila dukha prabhu nandana sevai sukriti nandana voshi tambula jogai. The Lord forgot all his distress by the service of the pious Nandana Ācārya, who sat there offering betel nuts. Prabhu bole mor bakya shuno ho nandan, aji tumi amare koribe sangopan. The Lord said, O Nandan, listen to me. Today you should hide me here. Nandana bolo e Prabhu, e boro dushkar, kota lukai ba tumi sangsar bhitor. Nandana replied, O Lord, this is very difficult. Where can you hide within this world? Hridoye takiya na parila lukaite, vidita korila toma bhakta tatha hoite. You could not hide in the hearts of the living entities. The devotees exposed you even from there. Je narila lukaite kir sindhu majhe, sheke mone lukaivo bahir samaje. How can one who could not hide in the ocean of milk hide in an open society? Gaudiya Bhashya. Śrī Gaurasundar is the origin of the three Purusha avatars, Karna, Garbha, and Kshiradakshai. He is Swayamrup, the origin of even Baladev. Generally, the localized Vishnu independently resides in the hearts of all living entities of the material world. Because of this, some people consider Śrī Gaurasundar to be Kshiradakshai Vishnu. Since the devotees considered him to be the localized Vishnu, he was unable to hide himself. The universes, which are created and maintained by the Purusha avatars, are called the material creation. Therefore, how is it possible for the localized Vishnu to hide himself anywhere within the universes? This fact was disclosed by the words of Nandana Ācārya. Nandana Ācārya Bhakya Shuni Prabhu Hase, Banchilen Nishi Prabhu Nandana Avase. After hearing the words of Nandana Ācārya, the Lord smiled. he passed that night in Nandan's house. Bhāgyavanta Nandana, oh, never mind. Bhāgyavanta Nandana Ashisha Katharange Sarvaratri Goaila Thakurer Sange. The fortunate Nandana Ācārya spent three entire nights discussing the unlimited topics of Krishna with the Lord. Hona pray gelo nisha Krishna katha rase Prabhu dekhe divasa hoilo parakashe. As they relished topics of Krishna, the entire night passed like a moment. Then the Lord saw that dawn had broken. Advaiter pratidanda koriya thakur sheshe anugraha mone barilo prachur. The Lord punished Advaita in this way, but ultimately he felt great compassion for him. Agya koilo Prabhu Nandana Ācārya chahiya ekeshwar Śrīvāsa pandita anagiya. Looking at Nandana Ācārya, the Lord instructed him, go and bring Śrīvāsa alone. Satvare Nandana gela Śrīvāser sthane aela Śrīvāse loya Prabhu jai khane. Nandana Ācārya quickly went to Śrīvāsa's house and returned to the Lord with Śrīvāsa. Prabhu dekhi Thakura Pandita Khande Preme. Prabhu bole chinta kichu na kori ho mane. On seeing the Lord, Śrīvāsa Pandit began to cry out of love. The Lord said, do not worry. Shadoy hoya tare jigyase apane. Acharyer varta koho achen kemone. In compassion, the Lord asked him, tell me, how is Advaita Ācārya doing? Aro varta loho bole pandita Śrīvāsa Acharyer Kali Prabhu hoilo upavas. You're asking for more news? Śrīvāsa Pandit asked. Yesterday, Acharya fasted. Achi bare ache Prabhu shabe deho matra darashana diya tare koroho kritartha. He is surviving only because he is destined to. Please show yourself to him and save him. Gaudiya Bhashya. The phrase achi bare ache means he is surviving because he is supposed to. Anya jana hoile ki amrai sohi tomar she sabe jivan prabhu vahi. If someone else had punished him, would he have tolerated it? O Lord, you alone are our life and soul. Toma bina kali prabhu sabar jivan mahashocha vasilam ache ki karan. Yesterday in lamentation, we thought that without you, O Lord, why should we maintain our lives? Jeno danda korila vachana anurup ekhone asiya ho prasada sammuk. You have given punishment like you said you would. Now please come and show your mercy. Śrīvāser vachana shuniya kripamoy cholila acharya prati hoya sadoy. On hearing Śrīvāsa's words, the most merciful Lord went to see Advaita Ācārya. Murcha gato asi prabhu dekhe acharyere maha aparadhi heno mane apanare. When the Lord came and found Advaita Ācārya was practically unconscious, he considered himself a great offender. The Lord considered himself a great offender. Prasade hoya matta bule ahankare paya prabhur danda kampa deho bhare. After previously receiving the Lord's mercy, Advaita would wander about like he was intoxicated with pride. But after being punished by the Lord, his body trembled. Dekhiya sodoy prabhu boloye uttar uttaho acharya hero ami vishwambhar. On seeing his condition, the merciful Lord said, O Acharya, get up and see, it is I, Vishvambar. Lajai Advaita kichu na bole bachan, prema joge mane chinte prabhur charan. Advaita was ashamed to say anything. In ecstatic love, he meditated on the Lord's lotus feet. Ar bar bole Prabhu, utoho acharya, chintanahi uti koro, apanar karja. The Lord said, get up, acharya, do not worry. Get up and perform your duties. Advaita bolo e Prabhu, korai la karja, joto kichu bolo more, sab Prabhu bahya. Advaita said, O Lord, you inspired me to act the way I did. Whatever you are saying to me now is all an external show. More tumi nirantar, dawao kumati, ahankar diya more korao durgati, sabakare uttama diyacho dasya bhav, amare diyacho prabhu jata kichu raga, lao apane danda koraho apane, mukhe eko bolo tumi koro ar mane, pran dhan deho man, sab tumi mor, tabe mor dukha dao, ঠাকুর আলি তোর হেন করো প্রভু মোরে দাস হেন করো প্রভু মোরে মোরে দাস্য ভাব দিয়া চরণে রাখ. Oops, that's why I wasn't able to say that. Okay. হেন করো প্রভু মোরে দাস্য ভাব দিয়া চরণে রাখো দাসী নন্দনা করিয়া. You always treat me in such a way that I become proud, and as a result, I suffer. O Lord, you have awarded everyone else the topmost mood of service, but you show me reverence. You yourself inspire me, and then you punish me. You speak one thing and think another. You are my life, wealth, body, and mind, yet still you give me misery. This is your opulence. O Lord, please give me the mood of service and keep me at your feet as the son of your maidservant. Gaudiya Bhashya. Time is it? Oh, it's 8:30 now. Okay, well, anyways, we're finished now. We'll just read this Gaudiya Bhashya. Gaudiya Bhashya. Śrī Advaita Prabhu said, the punishment that was awarded to me for the unauthorized activities of considering all devotees my servants and receiving respect from the people of this world is just an indication of my misfortune. It is simply the opulence of your mercy that you have awarded me distress, even though you have already taken everything away from me. My only request is that you refrain from this and always see me as your servant. As the maidservant's sons live in the house of the opulent householders, in the same way, you should always consider me your servant. This is my request. Shuniya Advaita Vakya Shri Gora Sundar, Advaitere Kohi Sarva Vaishnava Gochar. On hearing the words of Advaita, Shri Gaurasundar spoke to him in front of all the Vaishnavas. And we will hear what Mahaprabhu said to Advaita Acharya tomorrow. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol. Dandavat pranams, everybody. Kishore Prabhu, would you like to do Jai Dwani?
Jai Nitai.
Jai.
Jai Sabrikar Shishi Guru Gauranga Gan Harvika Giridhari Rar Vinor Bihari Radha Nainath Radhraman Bihari Radha Marva Shishi Sachinan Gaur Hari Radha Maran Gopal Ju Ki Jai. श्री गोविंद गोपीनाथ मरुन मोहन जीव की जय। जय नत्यालेल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद परमहंस व्रजचार्य वर्यस्तोत्रस्त शिशुमान भक्ति विज्ञान भारती गोस्वामी गुरु महाराज की जय। नत्यालेल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद परमहंस व्रजचार्य वर्यस्तोत्रस्त शिशुमान भक्ति वेदांत नारायण गोस्वामी महाराज पति पावन श्रील गुरुदेव की जय। नत्यालेल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद स्तोत्रस्त शिशुमान भक्ति बल तीर्थ गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। नत्यालेल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद स्तोत्रस्त शिशुमान भक्तिवेदांत शिल वामन गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। नत्यालेल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद स्तोत्रस्त शिशुमान भक्तिवेदांत त्रिविक्रम गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। नत्यालेल प्रविष्ट ओम विष्णुपाद शिल भक्ति स्वरूप दामोदर महाराज की जय। नत्यालेल प्रविष्ट ओम विष्णुपाद शिल गौरगंध स्वामी महाराज की जय। नत्यालेल प्रविष्ट ओम विष्णुपाद शिल भक्ति वैभाव पुरी गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। नत्यालेल प्रविष्ट ओम विष्णुपाद शिल भक्ति प्रमोद पुरी गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। नत्यालेल प्रविष्ट ओम विष्णुपाद शिल भक्ति रक्षक श्रीधर गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। जय नत्यालेल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद स्तोत्रस्त शिशुमान भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी गोस्वामी महाराज श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। नत्यालेल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद स्तोत्रस्त शिशुमान भक्ति माधु गोस्वामी परम गुरु महाराज की जय। जय नत्यालेल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद स्तोत्रस्त शिशुमान भक्ति प्रज्ञान केशव गोस्वामी महाराज शील परम गुरुदेव चार केशरी की जय। नत्यालेल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपाद स्तोत्रस्त शिशुमान जगद्गुरु शिव शबानावि दैतरास शिल भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी ठाकुर प्रभुपाद की जय। स्वापरिकार शिल प्रभुपाद भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी ठाकुर की जय। नित्यलील प्रविष्ट ओम विष्णुपाद महापरम भगवत परवार परमहंस स्तोत्रस्त शिशुमार गौर किशोर दास भविष्य महाराज की जय। नित्यालेल प्रविष्ट ओम विष्णुपाद सप्तम गोस्वामी स्तोत्रस्त शिशुमात सच्चिदानंद भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर महाशय की जय। नित्यालेल प्रविष्ट ओम विष्णुपाद वैष्णव सर्वभौम स्तोत्रस्त शिशुमान जगन्नाथ भविष्य महाराज की जय। सूर्य कुंदवासी सदा शिल मधुसूदन दास भविष्य महाराज की जय। श्री उर्वदास उदयनारायण दास की जय। जय गौरविदान आचार्य शिल बलदेव विभूषण प्रभु की जय। जय महामहोपाध्याय रसिक शिरोमणि शिल विश्वनाथ चक्रवर्ती ठाकुर पार की जय। शिल रसिकानंद मुरारी प्रभु की जय। शिल रामचंद्र कविराज की जय। श्री लोचन दास ठाकुर की जय। शिल नरोत्तम दास ठाकुर महाशय श्रीनिवास आचार्य श्यामानंद पंडित प्रभुत्राय की जय। शिल कृष्णदास कविराज गोस्वामी प्रभु की जय। यशवतार अरिका विशल वृंदावन दास ठाकुर की जय। श्री अष्ट कविराज वसुरजान नित्यानंद द्वारश गोपाल चौषति महंत जगाय मदाय की जय। जय श्री रूपा श्री सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्री जीव गोपाल भट्ट दास रघुनाथ सर गोस्वामी प्रभु की जय। श्री स्वरूप दामोदर रमनंद लोकनाथ गर्भ अदि गौर परिषाद वृंद की जय। नमाचार्य शिल हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासरि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। जय श्री ईश्वरपुरी गोस्वामी पाद की जय। श्री माधवेंद्रपुरी गोस्वामी पाद की जय। श्री अंतरद्वीप मायापुर सुमनद्वीप गौतमद्वीप मध्यद्वीप कलद्वीप पृथ्वीद्वीप चंद्रद्वीप मातृ ध्रुमाद्वीप रुद्रद्वीप मात्मका श्री नवद्वीप धाम की जय। श्री नंदन आचार्य भवन की जय। श्री नंदन आचार्य की जय। श्री एक चक्र धाम की जय। श्री शंतपुर धाम की जय। श्री गौरचंद्र भगवान की जय। श्री गौर द्वैत की जय। जय श्री श्री गौर गदाधर जीव की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्णा गोपीनाथ गोपी कृपा गो गिरि गोवर्धन दुर्शत श्री ब्रजमंदो धाम की जय। श्री राधा कुंद श्याम कुंद गंग सखी यमुना सखी तुलसी भक्ति देव की जय। जय विश्वानंदिनी श्रीमती राधा रानी ठाकुरानी की जय। श्री ललिता विशाख चित्र चंपकलट तुंग विद्या इंदुलेखा रंग देवी सुदेवी अरि सखी वृंद की जय। श्री अनंग प्रेम जलाल शिरोपलंगा राघविल सगुन रति कस्तूरी कमल नयन मणि अरिमंजारी वृंद की जय। श्रीमती वृंद देवी की जय। श्री भगवती पूर्णमास योगमाय देवी की जय। जय श्री गोपीश्वर सर शिव महादेव की जय। जय राधा पंडित धाम श्री वृंदावन की जय। श्री मधुर धाम की जय। जय श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा सुदर्शन चक्र नीलमाधव जी की जय। श्री तत्व गोपीनाथ की जय, श्री अद्वैता की जय, श्री अलरनाथ की जय, श्री सर्वकुल की जय, श्री हरिदास ठाकुर समाधि मंदिर की जय, शिल प्रपार आविर्भाव स्थली की जय, जय श्री जगन्नाथपुरी पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र मंडल नीलाचल धाम की जय, सर्वा विक्रम मेरे शनकुरी भक्त विक्रमिनाश श्रीन्द्र सिंह देव की जय, भक्तराज भक्त प्रभु श्री पलार महाराज की जय, श्री पलार लक्ष्मीन्द्र सिंह देव की जय, श्री हरिराम श्री संप्रदाय श्री आचार्य की जय, श्री मध्वार मनुजा विष्णु स्वामी निम्बदित्याचार्य आचार्य की जय, जय कर्मतरा श्री चैतन्य मार्ग की जय, श्री औरान्य मार्ग समूह की जय, श्री गौरीमार वृंद की जय, जय ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भगवताम भगवद गीता चैतन्य चरितामृत चैतन्य भागवत जैव धर्म हरि सर्व गौरी वैष्णव ग्रंथ वृंद की जय, जय त्रिभुवन मंगल श्री हरिनाम प्रभु की जय, जय त्रिभुवन मंगल श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन युग धर्म की जय, जय त्रिभुवन मंगल धन्य कलयुग तर्क ब्रह्म श्री हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम 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 हरे हरे महामंत्र की जय, श्री आनंद करी वैष्णव वृंद की जय, श्री समकट गौर भक्त वृंद की जय, जय परम ब्रह्मन परमा सत्यम परमेश्वर पति पावन प्रेम पुरुषोत्तम स्वयं भगवान जगन्नाथ मिश्र नंदन गौर सुंदर गराधर प्राणनाथ श्री विशंबर मिश्र निमाय पंडित श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य चंद्र महाप्रभु की जय, जय परमा दयाल परमा करुणामय भक्ति स्वरूप अवतार आदि गुरु आकंद गुरु श्री श्रीमान नित्यानंद लक्ष्मण अनंत बलराम की जय, श्रीमान नित्यानंद प्रभु की जय, जय महाविष्णु अवतार श्री शिव अवतार भक्त अवतार कमलक्ष शांतिपुर नायक सीत प्राणनाथ शिशिमार अद्वैताचार्य चंद्र गोस्वामी गौर ठाकुर नरदेव प्रभु मा शाय की जय, जय श्री चैतन्य भागवत की जय, शिल वृंदावन दास ठाकुर की जय, शिल प्रभुपाद भक्ति सनान सरस्वती गोस्वामी ठाकुर की जय, जय शिल प्रभुपाद गौरी वश्य की जय, जय श्री निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। ओम वृंदाय तुलसी देव्याय प्रियाय केशवस्य च कृष्ण भक्ति प्रददेवी सत्यवत्याय नमो नमः। पंचाकल्पतरुपष्टा कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय राधे। I didn't have time to write down the Jai Dwani, so I'll do it in a couple days. Haribol.
Hare Krishna, everybody. Dandavat Pranam. All right, I just prepared that that article that we read about begging. I prepared it on a Word document, and I will send it in our WhatsApp group. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much for joining. Dandavat Pranams. Nari Hari Prabhu, Bhavatarani Mataji. Hey, they disappeared. And Kishore Krishna Prabhu, Champak Mataji, Shubhananda Prabhu, Anuradha Didi. Oh, Haribo Anuradha Didi. Nice to see you here. And Sudevi Didi, Vidya Lalasa Didi, Bangsiwala Prabhu. And I see there are how many other people? 8 other people there joining. Dandavat Pranams, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. And yeah, is there anything anybody wants to mention before I end this live stream? Any comments or any thoughts or anything they want to share?
I mean, it's about Advaita Acharya Prabhu's beard, right? Yeah.
Yes.
I remember you sent me the commentary by Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur, where it says that Advaita Prabhu didn't have a beard. Right, yeah. And yeah, no, that's all. But I remember reading somewhere, I think it was from Srila Prabhupada, that Advaita Prabhu did have a beard, had a beard because his father Kuber Pandit had a beard. And so, and Prabhupada, I remember said, although Advaita Prabhu didn't want to have a beard, he still kept it out of tradition for his father.
Interesting. Very, very interesting. So I posted what I sent you. It's like the one day that you didn't join. We came across that. So I sent that to, but then I posted that on Facebook, and there are many comments there, and it became a whole thing. And so
What did it become a whole discussion?
yeah, whole discussion, lots of comments, and
Were there
Balabhadra,
people arguing?
he found a bunch of different comments of Gurudev and Srila Prabhupada saying that, but I don't remember anybody finding that one, which you just mentioned. So that's, you could add that to the comments if you can find that. Yeah, but it's
I
a
don't
whole thing.
remember where I read that. I don't remember where I read that, but I'm pretty sure it was Prabhupada that said that.
Okay. Yeah, and somebody's
Okay.
Nityananda Perez, he sent a picture of like supposedly done during the 15 something or whatever, like during, close to Mahaprabhu's time.
Uh-huh.
And it shows Advaita Acharya with a beard also and some hair.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm just, I mean, it is also possible that Advaita Acharya sometimes shaved and then sometimes it grew out. Who knows? But
I mean,
that's
for
always a
all we
possibility.
know, Advaita Prabhu, because Prabhupada wrote there in the commentary that he shaved. Prabhupada wrote there that he
Yes.
shaved.
Yes.
So it's
Yes.
possible that Advaita Prabhu had a beard, but he would be usually clean shaven. You remember the picture? I sent you a picture of Advaita Prabhu clean shaven.
Yes, you did, right? And
You
that
want to
website.
show that picture?
Yeah, I can show. Yeah.
Hari Bol, Dandavat Prabhu.
Yes, Shubhananda Prabhu. Yes.
Yesterday, I had a conversation with Srila Gurudev about this. As I also shared it with Guru Maharaj
Oh,
about
wow.
this commentary and detail. So he just
Yes.
mentioned that whenever Srila Prabhupada, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur established temples, and everywhere he didn't have install Advaita Acharya with a beard and all these things. So he said he is our guiding
Yes.
principal or Acharya. So we follow him as such.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, that I mean, I guess that pretty much settles it, because we accept whatever that's we understand everything else through Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, right? We can't say, oh, we understand something better. So that kind of settles it, right? And Kishore just sent this picture of Advaita Acharya the other day. I'll show you. See?
Even yesterday I had talk about Srila Ram Lalla Mandir. There were many controversies about the completion of temple and installation of the new deities and all these things. So I just asked Sri Guru Maharaj, what would
Yes.
have our Param Gurudev Sri Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami, because he was Acharya of Archana Vidhi and all these things. So Guru Maharaj said, मैं होता तो मैं 6 महीने पहले ही वो इंस्टॉल कर देता.
So you would have installed 6 months
6
before.
months before only. Whenever
Yes.
Garbhagruha is ready, we can
Yes.
install deities, and later on we can have Sabha Mandap and all other accessory constructions of the temple can be done later on also.
Wow, very
Because
interesting.
there was very controversy from Shankaracharya. All four Shankaracharya didn't attended this ceremony also, and they had posted many controversial comments about all the process.
Yeah, what was the reason? Why didn't they attend? I saw a YouTube video on it, but I didn't end up watching the whole video. But
Actually,
I saw a video.
they insisted that there should be a kalash pujan, kalash on the top at the
Oh.
kalash. That is the completion of the temple, and thereafter one can have this deity installation and all those things. But Sri Gurudev said, I would have done it 6 months ago after
Okay.
completion of Garbhagruha.
Yes. Okay. Wow,
I didn't
very
quite
nice.
I didn't quite understand. After the completion of what?
The inside temple.
Garbhagruha. Altar
Ah,
room.
sure.
The inner chambers. Yes.
Prabhu, I remember something going back to Advaita Acharya having not a beer, but I thought it was interesting that there was a water fight between the couple Nityānanda and Advaita against each other, and it says at one point you just couldn't tell who's who. They look alike, and I don't think Nityānanda had sported a beer.
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting. It's in Caitanya-bhāgavata.
Interesting. Very interesting.
In Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, in I think his second Advaita Ashtakam, he's written there that the three lords, Nityānanda Prabhu, Advaita Prabhu, and Gauranga Mahaprabhu. They're all representing like the three stages, the three stages of life, like youth, old age, and adulthood, I think.
That's interesting. Wait, where is that from?
Advaita, I think the second Advaita Ashtakam by Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya.
Okay. Huh.
I think in some places it may be written as Sitanath Ashtakam.
Although Lord Chaitanya blessed him that will never be senile, will never have any of the symptoms of old age. Either Nityānanda or Advaita Acārya.
But ultimately, Mahaprabhu's pastimes are completely inconceivable. So we have so much very good evidence on both sides of Advaita Acārya having a beard and having no beard. But ultimately, yeah, everything's
ultimately, let's follow what the Acharyas have recommended and done, like Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada, Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, like that.
Yeah.
Remember,
well, the thing is with that though is that we have quotes of Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada or Srila Gurudev, like that's mentioning, like talking about his beard, and then we have that verse. But then we have Srila Bhaktisiddhanta. But really, even when there is seeming contradiction, it can all be reconciled. Sometimes we aren't able to reconcile it, but nothing's ever. But yeah, it's our limitations. But.
I remember one thing very clearly, that I will remember watching a video of a morning walk with Gurudev, and one devotee was asking Gurudev that he had read that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had a beard, and that during the 4 months of Chaturmas, he would shave his beard. And he was asking Gurudev, but we've heard that Vishnu Tattva doesn't have any beard. And Gurudev asked him, oh, Nrsingadev had beard or not? Parshuram had beard or not? This question has no siddhanta.
Wow. That's really hard to imagine Mahaprabhu with a beard, but yeah. The Lord can do anything for his pastimes. Yeah.
But it's ultimate old by revelation, the mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
And one thing with like when it comes to this, every devotee sees everything in their own way according to their own mood. Like Krishna reveals himself in completely different forms and completely different ways to different people. So even though Krishna is in one room and everybody's looking at him, they're having a different darshan of Krishna. Like they're seeing a different form. And so, because the Lord is so intimate and personal with each devotee that he manifests in different ways to each devotee. So all things can be completely right. Yeah. I don't know. It's just one. All right. So that's our reading for today, and I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. Unless anybody. Yes. What are you about?
Yeah, I want to Shubhanand Prabhu. What else did his Gurudev say? What else did your Gurudev say on the Ram Mandir?
Very cool, no, I just asked about this controversy about completion and then installation, and otherwise half completion and then installation. It was just about this controversy from Shankaracharya and all this. So indirectly, Guru Maharaj said Shankaracharya people want to hold, rather have control over all Hindu Sanatan Dharmis, but somehow or the other they are losing their grounds, and that way Kali Yuga Dharma, all sannyasis also have quarrels.
Achha, very nice, very good points.
Yes.
Tanir Gurudev, my Dandavat Pranams. Okay.
Very good.
All right. Dandavat Pranams, everybody. So I'll see you all tomorrow. Jai Advaita Acārya ki jai. Jai Sachinandan Gaur Hari ki jai. Sapa Shachi Gaur Hari ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Gaur.